DJ, PK, and David Locke joining us. David, good morning.
Good morning. Patrick Cahan, David James, how are you?
Good.
In the commercial breaks, when you're talking with the Booner, and I know you're doing a Jazz Mavericks game, but you're doing it for a Jazz audience, right? So there's probably some 80-20 split or something, how much you're going to talk about that team. That's obvious. But does Booner ever go like, Klay Thompson is getting those three-point shots up. Look at him go. 13 three-pointers in 23 minutes. He checked in, first possession. Bang, let's go. Let it rip. Let it fly. Booner have anything to say about that?
No.
Oh, really? Okay. Caught my eye.
And I thought I'd just one word you just to start off the interview to make it awkward.
Thanks. Thanks for that. It worked.
First of all, I said it on the broadcast, so there was no reason to say it in the commercial break.
Okay.
I literally said, I think Klay Thompson sees an opportunity to go after 30 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I think was the first thing I said on the broadcast. I think at times Ron will give me a little extra analysis during a break if he sees something that he wants me to have a little bit better understanding of, or why he said something, or what he's seeing, or something he wants to bring up later in the broadcast. But he doesn't do it in that weird voice, and he doesn't say it in that fashion.
When Gordon Hayward came out, it was obviously apparent to everyone he had the body and the face of like a 15-year-old, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't going to work. And he knew it, and to his credit, he came back, and in time, he had the body of an NBA player and turned himself into a fine player. And everybody knew, oh, man, this kid needs to get bigger, stronger, blah, blah, blah. It was obvious. Now, I'm comparing to Ace Bailey. They both have faces of 15-year-olds. And Ace Bailey is lean. I'm wondering, an enormous athletic ability, obviously. I'm wondering if you've heard anything like what they project, what he needs to do from the physical standpoint, say in the next 2 to 3 to 4 years. Are there similarities with Hayward, or maybe not?
Oh, I think that's a great comparison. Gordon became kind of a physical beast and was at some point overpowering people with the strength that he added as a player. Right. I don't think Ace Bailey ever goes there. I'm going to talk to some of our guys about this. This is a great question. I don't think our guys will. I don't think he'll go. I don't think we'll go there. Right. I don't think you're trying to turn him into a physical powerhouse. But the way Keontae now is strong enough to hold his line on a drive and draw fouls and go to the line and make a play because his body can absorb the contact, I think you're talking about that.
Yeah, because I don't think that I don't want to see Ace as buff as we saw Gordon.
Right, I don't either. Right, 100%. Because Ace Bailey's gift is those two-hand rebounds above everyone, where he's literally a foot higher than every other incredible freak athlete that's on the floor. It's crazy, right? It is so crazy to be such a good athlete that your athleticism jumps out when you're on the floor with 10 other freak athletes.
Yeah, right. That's why I didn't know what they're looking for him to progress physically, because you don't want to dent in and not exploit the enormous athleticism.
I feel like an example of this, and I apologize to whatever professional was involved here who actually knows what was going on, and I'm probably wrong, but I'm just trying to find an example. I thought we might have done that to Derek Favors. Right? That we had Derek Favors, and we decided that we wanted to turn Derek Favors into this Karl Malone-esque powerhouse.
Right. Yes.
I don't know that was actually the body that Derek Favors was going to have his best NBA career with. Now, he never developed a shot, so maybe that had to be. But I think Derek Favors was this freaky, unbelievable running athlete that might have been better off staying a little leaner and more athletic than becoming the physical brute force player that he became. So I mean, he probably doesn't like Cody Williams is incredibly different than he was a year ago. It probably doesn't look it, but he is. I think we're talking about that kind of development. But Cody's actually is like 3,000 calories a day just trying to get weight on his body. Yeah. I don't think that's going to be a problem with Ace. I think Ace's body is going to naturally gain weight. But I think you want Ace to be a Tracy McGrady body, not a Lou Dort body.
I'm curious with these guys who are miles away from who they need to be and yet have clearly made progress. If you're sitting in the front office, not only of the Jazz, but around the league, because everybody's looking to fleece somebody of some good talent before they realize, what do you think the conversation, and maybe across the NBA, maybe they're just all over the board, right? But when they look at Isaiah Collier, he has 12 assists last night. He can clearly get into the paint just about any time he wants. And he's also 0 for 4 from the three-point line. Now, his three-point percentage, while still way too low, is also way better than it was. I mean, he's gone from 25% to 31%, and it's got to get a lot better than that. But he's clearly making progress. So I'm wondering how people around the league are analyzing someone like him or Cody Williams. Okay, Cody's made progress, clearly. He's also clearly still got miles to go. Is everyone being patient? Do people give up? Are people convinced these guys will make that transition and you just got to be patient while the growth happens? What do you think the take is on these young guys?
So I think there's two different things here. From an outside perspective, I think it probably has a lot to do with where he was evaluated on your draft board. Like if you liked Cody Williams on draft day, you knew he was this weak and needed physical development, and you're beginning to see signs, and you probably still believe in him a little bit. You're taken aback a little bit by the shooting, probably, and you're like, okay, that's a concern. If you liked Isaiah Collier, you really like him now, right? Because the speed has 100% translated, and the strength has translated. The one I think is the trick is for the Jazz, who live with the warts every single day, to not get worn out by the warts. Like, if you ask me a Isaiah Collier, Kyle Filipowski, Cody Williams highlight, it might be a low light. Like the first, not highlight, but you ask me the first play that comes to my mind, it might not be a good play, right? Just because I've seen everything they've done. I've seen every one of Isaiah. There's some things I'm seeing out of Isaiah right now that catch my eye, probably almost, the way a stereotype catches your eye, right? Like if you have a negative thought about something and you'll prove it to be true by seeing it all the time. Whereas maybe you're not seeing the 4 times he does something great because you've gotten used to that and you're only focused on the items where his weaknesses show up. So I think that's actually the real trick for the Jazz is to not get, when someone misses their 17th defensive rotation of the month, you're losing your crap. And you're like, forget it. But, on the other end, all he has to do is learn how to make that defensive rotation. He stops missing it. But it's for you, it's like, and it can be anything. It can be, you have a player who's absent-minded, right? And so it drives you crazy how absent-minded they are. And then they do something on the court that's absent-minded. And so it drives you particularly – it's kind of like your kids, right? Like everyone thinks your kids are incredible. You're like, I don't know. It kind of drives me crazy.
You think Yusuf Nurkic will be on the team post-trade deadline?
Yes. Because I think he makes $18 million.
Yeah.
So to trade him to a team that would want him for the playoff run needs to give us back $18 million because they probably are over the cap. And I can't seem to find a team unless I'm missing it somewhere that has $18 million of dead money. Like, you're not going to be a playoff team and want to give up quality players back for Yusuf Nurkic because you need those players for your playoff run, right?
Sure, but the Jazz don't want quality players.
100%. Now, the question is Yusuf Nurkic on the Jazz team a week after the trade deadline?
Oh, you're thinking buyout?
Well, that was the next question. Yeah.
If somebody wants Nurkic as a buyout and Nurkic goes to the Jazz and says, I would like to go to play for whomever on their playoff run, would the Jazz do that? Or does the loss of Yusuf Nurkic make it so difficult for the Jazz to just function as a team that the Jazz say, actually, we still want you here?
I read a story along these lines, and I'm wondering if you believe this to be true. And it was people speculating about the trade market for Kuminga and Warriors, that the Warriors are so frustrated. Well, they're so frustrated with each other, Kuminga with the Warriors and Warriors with Kuminga, that at this point the Warriors are no longer looking for talent back. They're looking for an expiring contract. Do you think that's true? Because that seems to me like, wow, the price tag for Kuminga's gone way down. And Nurkic is an expiring contract. He's at 19.3. Kuminga's at 22.5. Do you think the Warriors are at that point that they'll just take an expiring contract for Kuminga?
Maybe. But isn't Kuminga an expiring contract?
He's got a player, or he's got a team option for next year.
So, why? I mean,
so why? That was one of the reasons when I read that story. I was like, really? That's the price tag for that guy now, huh?
That doesn't gain them anything.
I know.
So, well, unless they think Yusuf Nurkic would help their playoff run. I don't know what I think of Jonathan Kuminga. Like, I mean, he's kind of quit on the Warriors, right?
Yeah, they're sick of each other. He didn't want. There was a chance for him to play because I guess other players were out, and he basically took himself out of consideration, and because he'd been mad he hadn't been playing, and they're over each other.
With no resume, and he quit on his team. Like, God, that's like it feels like that's a significant red flag, and then he doesn't shoot it, right? So you got a 6'9" wing player who I think ranks worst in the NBA defensively. Maybe because he just quit on the whole season. All right. So you have a 6'9" wing player, 6'8", 6'7" wing player who can't shoot the three, who's a straight line driver, who's physically impressive, who therefore needs to be a really good defense player. Who, if you look at the defensive data this year, I think comes out as the second or third worst defensive player in the league on isolations and some other stuff like that. And so then you have to decide, well, that's just because he's quit this year. So that's okay. Right? Like, that to me is just such a weird calculus you have to make.
Going forward, do you feel that the team will do what they've done where they think if they have a chance to win, they're sitting Nurkic and or Markkanen?
Well, Lowry's sick. Lowry is sick.
Okay.
That's not.
I said going forward, not now.
I'm going to answer the question two different ways. Okay.
Okay, please.
One is I'm legitimately surprised. I don't know if you want to just build pure softness out of your players, but I'm legitimately surprised right now in the league with the rate of injuries when teams play some of their players on a third game in 4 nights. I do think that there's data that says that fatigue is leading to some of these injuries, and I'm just legitimately surprised. When teams that are in the situation of the Jazz where they're not playing for a playoff or playoff positioning, that we're going to play 3 games in 4 nights. I'm surprised sometimes. Okay, so I'll just say that, and that counts Keontae too. I don't quite understand what the value of Keontae playing 82 games this year instead of 65. He's clearly a part of our future. He's really valuable. Let's keep him really healthy. The injuries just scare the crap out of me in the league right now. The other one that was interesting to me was the other night when Walter Clayton and Taylor Hendricks didn't play. Because what's actually suddenly happened is with Cody Williams getting better and Walter being ready and Kevin Love being probably a little better than anyone thought, we suddenly have 13, 14 rotation players. And so it doesn't do us a lot of good to have Taylor Hendricks get 0 minutes or Walter Clayton not play in a game at this point. And so I do think you're going to see, or Walter Clayton play 12 minutes. I do think you're going to see a rotation of players. I actually think there's going to be a night where Isaiah Collier gets the night off and Walt Clayton plays 32 minutes off the bench. And you just kind of know that he's playing 32 minutes that night. And that then maybe there's a night where Walt Clayton gets a night off and Isaiah Collier is going to play 32 minutes. Or that someone gets the night off so that Cody can play 28 minutes. I think Will Hardy still needs to be able to, like, if someone's not playing well, have a hook on them. But I do think you're going to see a player rotation taking place depending on the game and the matchup and the teams and the development of the players, because it doesn't really do us any good to have a 14-man rotation where 2 or 3 guys don't play every night.
He's David Locke. He is hanging out in Dallas.
Wait. Let me rephrase that. Where the same guys don't not play every night.
Right.
That's the
we got where you were going.
That's what I thought you were saying.
Yeah. All right. Listen to David tomorrow, 3:00 in the afternoon, the rare matinee. You're going to get home, or you're not getting it home. You got one more game. You're going to get on at a reasonable hour to the next city. Good work.
I usually complain about not being home, but I hear from the air quality that it might be okay that we're on the road.
Air quality's been bad. Yeah, bad. All right. Thank you, David.
Yeah. Bye.
All right, there's David Locke, radio voice of the Utah Jazz. Kevin Graham, NFL playoffs, 15 minutes. Stay with us.